Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial, we are going to be making the matching filet heart pillow, I was going to say case, but it's not really a case, it's a pillow cover for the Valentine's Day. I am so super happy with how this came out. I just think this is the cutest thing ever. So what we do is we work our one heart panel, and then we work 2 rounds of double crochet around, and then we increase the bottom and increase the top, and then we're done with the front, and then we make our back panel, which is just solid double crochets back and forth, and then we stitch them together, and it's just that simple. Uh-oh, knocked it over. Right there I weaved in an end, and I kind of pulled it a little too tight, and it's pulling that double crochet. That's why there's a little bit of a hole there. Okay, so in the description box, I'm going to have a link for the matching blanket that goes with this, okay? All right, so let's talk about what we're going to need. Okay, so we are going to need a tape measure. Make sure it's cute. Sorry, that was... Anyway, a pair of scissors. We're going to be using a 5.5mm crochet hook, a needle to weave in your ends. And this isn't 100% necessary, but I suggest it just to help you out, is a few stitch markers. You're going to need several, I'm going to say, because what I used it for is holding the outer seam, holding your stitches together so you can stitch it shut. But actually, I think I should have just done that all the way around the pillows. Kind of easy. But anyway, get you some stitch markers. And then you're going to need 2 skeins of I Love This yarn in the color Hot Orchid. Now make sure your dye lots match if you're using this yarn. The only reason I say that is because I had a little bit of a dye lot emergency, and thank goodness we had to run all the way to Hobby Lobby, which isn't like a hop, skip, and a jump away. We had to go all the way down there to get it, but they had one that matched. Okay, so you can use any 4-weight yarn you choose. This is just the one I went with. I'd just say, you know, make sure your dye lots match if your yarn has a dye lot. Okay, 2 skeins of those. And then I have a, sorry for the crinkles, I used a 16-inch pillow insert. I don't remember if this came from Walmart or where this came from, but I love these pillows. And the reason being is because if you see this little picture, see the zipper on the side? I do a lot of baby blanket and baby pillow sets. And sometimes these pillows, like this one, is really stuffed. Now this one wasn't. This one didn't have hardly any polyfill in it, but this one has quite a bit. But what I like doing is I can unzip this zipper and pull some of that out, because I don't know, if you think about it, you know, a baby laying, like pretend my fist is a baby head and you lay it on that pillow, it almost like it just crunches the baby's head, you know, and it's like, I don't want them to lay like that. I want them to lay, you know, nice and neat, flat on the pillow. So that's why I get these, so I can pull out some of that polyfill. And then I just put them in my polyfill bag for any amigurumi I do, or anything like that. And plus, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys on camera. These labels, can you see the holes from when it was sewn on there? It just makes it easier to rip that off. Alright, so that is everything we are going to need to make our matching pillow. Don't forget, this description box, I'm going to have the blanket that goes with it, okay? Now this, you can adjust the size if you can't get a 16-inch pillow. All you got to do is we're going to work the center heart just like normal, and then add rows to the sides and the bottom. You know, lay your heart in the middle of your pillow, okay? And then add rounds around the heart until it gets not exactly on your side pillow, your side seams, but close. Don't work it seam to seam, okay? Because if you do that on both the front and the back panel, the cover is going to be really loose on your pillow, and we don't want that, okay? So don't work it exactly to the seams, just come in a little bit, so then when we sew it together, it's going to give it a little bit of a pull, and it'll be tight and not floppy on your pillow. And then just the same concept with your back. Chain from not seam to seam, but almost seam to seam, and then double crochet into the third chain from hook, and then work rows and work it to the same concept. Not exactly top to bottom seam, but come in just a little, and then when we sew it together, it'll see how I just pinched and you can't even tell that it moved? It'll give it a little bit of room, and it won't be floppy on your pillow. All right, get your stuff together and let's get started, guys. Alrighty, to get started with our heart, we're going to need a chain of 48. And I've already gotten mine done off camera because I didn't figure you guys want to watch me chain 48. But anyway, get your chain of 48 done, and then come back here and we're going to start row 1. So to start row 1, we're going to double crochet into the third chain from our hook, okay? So not this one, but that one. The third chain. Alright? And all we're going to do for row 1 is double crochet into all of the remaining chains. And we should have 47 double crochets with the beginning chain 2. So technically 48 stitches. Alright? So you guys get your chain worked and come back with me, and we're going to move on to, row 2. Okay, so I just double crocheted into that very last chain right there, and we have 47 double crochets with that beginning chain 2, okay? So to move on to row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And for row 2, we're going to double crochet right into that very first double crochet. Chain 1, skip that next double, double into the next. Chain 1, skip the next double, double into the next. And that's what we're going to repeat all the way down. Chain 1, chain 1, skip the next double, double into the next. Chain 1, skip the next double, double into the next. So repeat that all the way down, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, if you guys can hear that, that's my heater running. I've come to the end of the row, and I have my double crochet left, and then right there is that beginning chain 2. So I'm going to chain 1, and we're going to skip that last double and double into the top of that beginning chain 2. So right here is the back hump and the top loop, and I'm going to go right through both of those. I want both of them on, or in my double. And there we go. Oops. Now you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 chain 1 spaces, okay? Alright, and we're going to move on to row 3 by chaining 1 and turning your work. And we are going to double into that very first double. Chain 1, double into the double. Chain 1, double into the double. And we're going to repeat that all the way across for row 3. So basically we're just creating another row of double crochets and chain 1s. Alright, so get your row 3 done and come back and we'll move on. Okay. Okay, so I just finished row 3. Now I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and we still should have the 23 chain 1 spaces. So now what we're going to do is double crochet into that very first double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. And we're going to repeat that until we get 11 chain 1 spaces. So right now we have 2 and we need to get to 11. So I'm going to let you guys do that off camera. And then when we come back, we'll have 11 chain 1 spaces, okay? So we'll be right back. Okay, so I have 11 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, now we're going to start the bottom of our heart, and we need a double crochet into that next chain 1 space, and then a double crochet into this next double. And that is the bottom of our heart. So it's going to start with 3 double crochets, and then we're going to increase from there. So now we start our chain 1, double into the next double, and we're going to repeat that all the way to the end, and we should end with 11 double crochets again, just like the beginning. So we have the beginning of our heart, 1, 2, 3 chain 1. So we need to work that all the way to the end, and we should have 11 by the time we get down here. Okay, so I'm coming to the end. I've got my 10 chain 1 spaces. So to finish, I'm going to chain 1 and double crochet into my very last double, which is a little turned. So if you just rotate your work, you'll see the top of that double. All right, so that is the end of row 4. And we should have 11 chain 1, 3 double crochets together, not together, in a row, I should say, and then 11 chain 1 spaces. All right, now to move on to row 5, we chain 1 and turn, and we are going to follow that same concept, but this time instead of 11 chain 1 spaces, we're going to take it down to 10. So to start, we double crochet into that very first double, chain 1, double into your next double, chain 1, double into your next double. So there's 2. So repeat that until we get 10 chain 1 spaces. Okay, so now I have my 10 chain 1 spaces. So now I'm to my heart, and we're going to increase from 3 double crochet in a row to 7. Well, we already have 1, so now we're going to double crochet into that chain 1 space, double crochet into the next 3 doubles, double crochet into that chain 1 space, and then double crochet into your next double. And you should have 3, 6, 7 double crochet. So now to finish the row, we do the same thing we did to start the row. Chain 1, double crochet into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, and oops, I got a hold of something. Repeat that to the end, and at the end we should have our 10 chain 1 spaces. All right, so I'm going to repeat that across, and I'll meet you when we get to the end. Okay, so I repeated that across. Now I have my 10 chain 1 spaces to end row 5. So to move on to row 6, we chain 1 and turn, and we're going to follow that same concept, and then we're going to only have 9 chain 1 spaces. So we double into that very first double, chain 1, double into your next double. There's 1, chain 1, double into your next double, 2, there's 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6, 7, 8, and 9. Double into that next double. All right, so there's my 9 chain 1 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to increase our heart again from 7 to 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 1. Let's double into that next chain 1 space. Double across all these doubles. Should be 7 of them right there. Double into that next chain 1 space, and then double into that next double. And now we just repeat the chain 1, double into the next double, all the way to the end, and we should be end with the 9 chain 1 spaces. So there's 1, There's 2, 3. Okay, so just repeat that to the end. Okay, so that was the end of row 6. To move on to row 7, we chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to take our chain 1 spaces down to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to take it down to 8. So we double into our first, chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. So repeat that till you get your 8 chain 1 spaces. Okay, I have my 8 chain 1 spaces. So now we're going to increase our heart again. So we double into that next chain 1 space, and then double across all these double crochets, double into your next chain 1 space, double into that next double. So we should have 15 double crochets in a row right there. So I'm going to get mine done and I'll be right back. Okay, I've double crocheted across all those doubles, double into the next chain 1 space, into the next double, and now we start our chain 1 double crochet into the next doubles until we have 8, which should go all the way to the end. So I'm going to chain 1, double into that next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double, and just repeat that till the end. I'm just about there. Chain 1, and there's my last. If I rotate that just a little bit, there's my double crochet into there, and I should have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Okay, speaking of 8, to move on to row 8, we chain 1 and turn, and now we are going to take that chain 1 spaces down to 7. So we double crochet into that first double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, repeat that till we have 7. All right. Chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double, chain 1, and double. So there should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, now we're increasing our heart again. Let's see, we had, was it 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we're going to work the double into the chain 1, work a double all the way across here, a double into that chain, your next chain 1, and into that next double. So I'm going to get mine done and I'll be right back. Okay, so I finished my double crochets across, and now we're going to finish with our 7 chain 1 spaces, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Okay, so chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double, and repeat until the ends to where we have 7 chain 1 spaces. Well, dang it. Okay, chain 1 and into my last double crochet, which you got to rotate just a little. Right there, there's the top. And there we go. So that is the end of row, is it 8? Yeah, row 8. All right, so to move on to row 9, we're going to follow the same concept. Chain 1 and turn. And we are taking our chain 1 spaces down to 6 now. So double into that very first double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double, all right, chain 1, double, chain 1, double, chain 1 and double. Now we should have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, now we're going to increase our heart again. Just get me some slack here. So we double crochet into that next chain 1 space, and then double crochet across all those double crochets, double into that chain 1 and double into that next double. So I will get that done and I will meet you when we get done there. Okay, so I double crocheted across there and I've got a set of 23 double crochet, and now we're going to finish off the row with our, by the time I get here, I forget how many chain 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right. 6 chain 1s, so we chain 1 and we're going to double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1. Can you guys guess what the next one is? Double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, and then rotate that last one just a tad to where you see the heart. Get it? The heart afghan. And we're going to double crochet into there. All right. So that is the end. What was that, 9? Yeah, row 9. So we're going to move on to row 10. Chain 1 and turn your work. And now we're going to take 6 down to 5. So we're going to double into that very first double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double, chain 1, double. That's 4, so 1 more. There we go. All right, now we're going to increase the heart again. So we're double into the chain 1 space, double across all these doubles, double into that chain 1 space, and then into your next double. And we should have, I believe, 27. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Yeah, 27. Okay? Let's get your double crochets done and come back. Okay, so I've double crocheted all across there, and now we finish with our 5 chain 1 spaces. And I've got some tails right here. Just pretend you don't see those. All right, so chain 1, and then we double into the next double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double, and chain 1 into our last double. Rotate it just a little. There's the top of our heart, and double into there. All right, so that was the end of row 10. So to move on to row 11, we chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to take our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain 1 spaces down to 4. So double into that first double crochet, chain 1, double into the next, chain 1, double into the next, chain 1, double into the next. That's 3, chain 1, and there's 4. So now we're to our heart, to increase our heart. So now we chain 1, or double crochet into that chain 1, and then double crochet across all those doubles, double crochet into this chain 1 and into this double, and then I will meet you before we start our ending chain 1 spaces. Okay, so I've increased my heart. And you should have 31 double crochets. Sorry about that, guys. I was like, uh-oh, wait a second. But that's right, 31 double crochets. And now we are going to finish the row off with our 4 chain 1 spaces. So we chain 1, double into that next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double. Chain 1, and our very last double, rotate a little bit, it's right there. All right. And that is the last row of increasing our heart. From now on out, we are just going to keep the space and then we're going to decrease it. So to move on to row 12, we chain 1 and turn. Row 12 is an easy one. All we are going to do is double into that first double. We're going to keep the same chain. Wait a minute. Sorry, I didn't mean to say keep the same. I meant we're going to go down to 3 chain 1 spaces at the beginning instead of 4. I was putting the cart in front of the horse. I was getting ahead of myself. Okay, so we're going to take the 4 down to 3. So there's 1 chain 1 space. Chain 1. There's 2. Chain 1 and 3. And now is the last row to increase our heart. I'm sorry, guys. Now we're going to take it up to 35. So we're going to double crochet into that chain 1 space, double crochet into each of these doubles, double crochet into this chain 1 space, and double crochet into the next double. Okay? So get all those double crochets done, and I will meet you at the end of the doubles. Okay, now we are going to end the row with our 3 chain 1 spaces. So chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double, chain 1, and we end with a double into that last double, and there we go. There. Now our heart is done increasing. Okay, so to move on to row 13, we are going to chain 1 and turn. And basically what we're going to do is work what we see in row 12. So we're going to have our 3 chain 1 spaces, double into each of our doubles, and then 3 chain 1 spaces. Now, I can't say we're going to repeat row 2, because technically we're not. But what we're going to do is repeat what is in row 12. Okay, so I'm just going to move on because I don't want to confuse you guys. So we're going to double into that very first double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double, chain 1, and double. So we have 3 chain 1 spaces, and now we're just going to double across all these doubles, and then I'll meet you back when we get to here. Okay, so to end row 13, we're going to end with our 3 chain 1 spaces. So chain 1, double into your next double, chain 1, double into the next, chain 1, double into your last. All right, chain 1 and turn, and now row 14 is just going to be a repeat of row 13. So 12, 13, and 14 should all just be the same stitches, okay? So go ahead and repeat row 14 or row 13, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished row 14, which was just the repeat of row 13. So now we should have 3 rows that are just solid double crochets and we didn't increase or anything, and then you have the 3 chain 1 spaces at the beginning. All right, so let's move on to row 15, and we are going to chain 1 and turn, And row 15, we're still going to keep the 3 double crochet, chain 1 spaces at the beginning. So double into that first double, chain 1, skip your chain 1, double into the first double, chain or next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double. So there's our 3 chain 1 spaces. So now what we're going to start working on is the what do you call this on a heart? This. That's what we're going to start working on. I don't know what that's called, but I'm not going to say what keeps coming to my mind. All right, so to do that, we are going to work a double crochet into the next 16 double crochets. So we should have a total of 17 double crochets right here, okay? So work into 16 more doubles and I will be right back. Okay, so I double crocheted into the next 16 and I already had one here. So now I should have a row of 17 double crochet. And now we're going to insert a little chain 1 space. So we're going to chain 1, skip that next double, double into the next double. And now we just double into each double until the end of our heart, which should be 17 double crochets. Okay, I'm not going to do that on camera. Go ahead and finish that, and I'll meet you before we start our chain 3. Okay, so I've got those 17 double crochet, and now we're going to end with the chain 3 chain 1 spaces. So chain 1, double into that next double, chain 1, double into your next double, chain 1, and then we're going to double into that very last double, and if you just rotate it, right there's the top of that double. And we're going to double into that one. All right, so that is the end of row 15. So to move on to row 16, we are going to chain 1, chain 1 and turn. So for row 16, we're still going to keep our 3 chain 1 spaces at the beginning, okay? And we're going to start in this double crochet. The only difference is that we're going to take this middle chain 1 space up to 3 chain 1 spaces. All right, so I chained 1 and I'm going to double into that very first double crochet, chain 1, double into the next, chain 1, double into the next, chain 1, double into the next. And now what we're going to do is double crochet into the next 14 double crochets. So by the time you get your 14 doubles, we should have 15 because we already have one there. See it right there? And we should be 2 double crochet away from that chain 1. So double crochet into the next 14 and I will meet you there. Alrighty, I did my 14 doubles and one was already there, so I have a row of 15. Now we're going to increase that chain 1 space to 3. So we're 2 double crochet away from that chain 1 space. So we chain 1, skip the next double, double into the next. Chain 1, skip your double or your chain 1 space, double into the next. Chain 1, skip the next double, double into the next. So there is our 3. And now we just double into each double until the end of our heart, which should be a total of 15 double crochets. All right, get that done and I'll meet you before we start our ending chain 1, 3 chain 1 spaces. I'll be right back. Okay, I doubled into each double and now we're going to end with our 3 chain 1 spaces. So chain 1, double into your next double, chain 1, double into your next double, chain 1, and then double into that last double crochet right there. All right, so now we're going to move on to row 17. chain 1 and turn. And row 17, we are going to start with 4 chain 1 spaces at the beginning now instead of 3. So we're going to start decreasing this little chunk of our heart. So we double crochet into our very first double. Chain 1, skip that chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, skip the next chain 1, double into the next double. I got into something. Chain 1, double into your next double. That's 3. We need 4. So chain 1, skip the next double, double into the next double. And there is our beginning 4 chain 1 spaces. So now what we're going to do is double crochet into the next 10 double crochets. So we double crochet into the next 10. So that should put us 2 away from that chain 1 space. And then we'll have a total of 11 double crochets because we've already got 1 here. So double into the next 10 and I'll be right back. Okay, now I've got my 11 double crochet done. And now what we're going to do is increase our 3 chain 1 spaces to 5 chain 1 spaces. So we chain 1, skip that next double, double into the next double. Chain 1, skip your chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, skip that next double, double into the next double. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's our 5 chain 1 spaces. And now we're going to double crochet into the next 10 double crochets. Now remember, we're going to increase from 3 chain 1 spaces to 4, so don't double all the way to the end of your heart. Just double into the next 10 double, okay? We'll be right back. All right, so I have my 11 double crochet. So now I am 2 double crochet away from the end of my heart. I mean, like right there's the end of the heart. So we chain 1, skip your next double, double into your last double. Chain 1, double into the next double. I said last double. What I meant is that the last double of the heart right there. Okay, chain 1, double into your next double. Chain 1, excuse me, and we're going to double crochet into that last double crochet right there. All right, that was the end of row 17. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, and now we are going to start row 18. I thought I saw something red in my yarn, or orange I should say. Where did you come from? Okay, so we are going to start row 18, which is the last row of our heart. So we are going to go from 4 chain 1 spaces to 5. So we're going to double into the first. Oops, lost that. Chain 1, double into your next double. 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 And then chain 1, skip your next double, double into the next double. So that should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we are going to double into the next 6 double crochet. So that'll give us a row of 7 double crochet together. Not together, I mean next to each other. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we should be 2 away from that first chain space with a total of 7. So that's 3, 6, 7. All right, so now we're going to increase our chain 1 spaces from 5 to 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're 2 away from that first chain 1 space. So we chain 1, skip the next double, double into the next. Chain 1, double into your next double. Gosh. Sorry about that, guys. That scared me. Okay, so chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into that next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, skip that next double, double into the next double. And now we double crochet into the next 6 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oopsie daisy. All right, so now we're going to take our 4 chain 1 spaces up to 5. So chain 1, skip that next double, double into that next double. Chain 1, double into your next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, and double into your last double crochet. Okay, I want you guys to give yourself a little pat on the back because you just finished the heart portion. Now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat row 2 and 3. And basically all we're going to do is work double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, all across the top. We're going to do that for 2 rows. So we just finished 18, so this is technically row 19. So we double into that first double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1. So basically what we're doing on the first part is double crocheting into your double, chain 1, double into the 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 double, and then chain 1, double into the double. And then when we get to the double crochets of the heart, we're going to chain 1 and then skip a double, double into the next double. So basically the heart portion, don't forget to skip your double. The chain 1 portion, we always skip the chain 1. So basically through these rows, you're never going to work a double crochet into the chain 1. It's always going to be a double, okay? So chain 1, double into your next double, chain 1, double, chain 1. I'm just going to go ahead and stay with you guys because I'm just about there. Making sure I work a chain 1 and then double into my double, chain 1, I'm back to my heart. So now I chain 1 and I skip a double. Chain 1, skip a double. Chain 1, I'm into the last double of my heart, and now I'm back to the chain spaces, so I just double into each double. Double into the double, chain 1, double into the double, chain 1, double into the double, chain 1, and double into the last double. Okay, so that was 19. So now we're going to work row 20. So we chain 1 and turn, and we just repeat that. Double into the very first double crochet, chain 1, double into the double, chain 1, double into the double. So I'm going to let you guys repeat this across, and I will be right back as soon as I get done. Okay, so I just finished, let's see, 18, 19, I just finished row 20. So that was my second row of double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1. So now we are going to move on to the very last row of the little heart block, I'll say. And all that is to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to work a double crochet into that first double, and a double crochet into the chain 1, double into your double, darn it, get into the top of the double, and then double into the chain 1, double into the next double, double into the chain 1. So now what we're doing is just double crocheting all the way across, okay? So get that done and come back. Okay, so I finished double crocheting all the way across here, and that was the end of 18, 19, 20, 21. That was the end of row 21. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start working around our square. So basically this is going to be the center that sets on our pillow, and now we're going to work the outside of the square until it sits nice and neat on top of the pillow, going from seam to seam to seam to seam on the pillow. Let me get the pillow and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so what I'm talking about is that this heart is going to set right on the center of the pillow. And instead of increasing the heart, you know, just going up and up and up until the bottom meets this bottom seam, the heart wouldn't be in the middle of the pillow, right? So what we're going to do is just work a square around the heart, okay? All right. So that was the end of row 19. Okay, sorry about that, guys. That was row 19, not 20, or row 22, not 19. I don't know why I said that. But anyway, so what we're going to do now is start working around the square so it fits on our pillow. So we've got a double crochet into that very last double. So what we're going to do is put one more double, chain 2, and rotate your work, and 2 more doubles. Okay, so now that corner has 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. And now what we're going to do is evenly space out double crochets down the side. Just make sure you don't bunch them up or, you know, stretch really far to get a double. So I'm going to go right into this little hole right there. I'm going to double right there. Double around that double. Double into that hole. Double, let me see. Yeah, double right into the middle of that cluster. Just like that. See how it's nice and even, and it's not bunched up or it's not a real far stretch. Okay, double around that double. Double into that hole. Double in the middle. Okay. So we are just going to repeat that down the side, and I'm going to go ahead and work mine off camera, and when I get down here I'm going to tell you how many double crochets I have on this side. So we'll be right back. Okay, so far I have 38 double crochets down here. So I just counted the 2 double crochet into the corner and then all the way down, and I've worked 1 double crochet into this around this last double. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that my corner. So I'm going to work 1 more in there, excuse me, chain 2, and I'm going to rotate and go in there with 2 more doubles. Okay, now I'm just going to work a double into each double across the bottom. So basically what I'm doing is, let me find. So if you look, like right here's the bottom of a double, and it's into the chain right there. Here's the bottom of a double, here's the chain. There's the bottom of the double, there's the chain. So what I'm going to do is just insert my hook right into where the bottom of the double is. Because what this is row 1, so that we've rotated the square, all of our doubles are upside down now. So if you just yarn over and then just put your hook right into where the bottom of that double is, what we're doing is doubling into the remaining chain loops from the chain. just like that. Okay. All right, so work that double into the bottom of each double all the way across the bottom. And I'll meet you down here. Okay, so I've made it to that corner. I've got that double crochet worked into, and I've got one more to get into right there. So we are going to double into that. And now I'm going to go ahead and work my corner into the bottom of that double. I know there's a chain 2 right there, but I'm just going to go ahead and go into the bottom of the double. So I'm going to add one more. Chain 2. I'm going to rotate my work. And add my 2 more doubles in there for my corner. Just like that. Alright, now I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side. I'm going to evenly space out. Dang it, now I don't remember how many double crochet I told you I had over there. Was it 38? I better stop and count so I don't mess this up. We had 38, and then we added one more, so 39. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 37, 38, 39. All right. So evenly space out your double crochets, and I'm going to meet you before we get to what we're going to create as our next corner, okay? All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've made it back around, and I've worked a double into the same top of the double crochet that this first one is of the last round. I double crocheted into there, so this double crochet right here, like here's the post of it. The top of it has the double on the side, and then the very first one from the row. Is that the first one? Yeah, row 22. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to work one more double crochet into there. Chain 2. And I'm only going to work one. And then slip stitch to this first one. So there's our corner. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to, well, I guess I should start it. Chain 1, double crochet right back into that double. And double crochet into each double. And then into your chain 2 corners. Work your 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. Double crochet all the way till you get to your corner. Work double, 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. Work that all the way around, and then stop when you get to this next, or the 4th chain 2 corner, okay? Because what we're going to do, so like the pillow is more rectangular shaped than it is square. So we're just about to a good width. So what we're going to do after the second round is start working on the length. Like the height needs to be taller. All right, so work that round and come right back. Okay, so I've made it all the way around. I'm to that last, my 4th corner right here. Oops, a daisy. So I'm going to double and double, chain 2, 2 double back in there. And slip stitch to that first double crochet. Okay, so, and I know I was telling you guys, you know, the stitch count you should have on down each side. It doesn't really matter. I mean, as long as you can keep it consistent with each side. So like if I have 39 here and 40 here, it's not a big deal, because the back panel that we're sewing this to for the back of the pillow, you're not going to be sewing into double crochets. You're sewing into the side, so it doesn't matter. All right, I'm going to adjust my camera because I need to have a bunch of room to show you what we're doing, okay? So I'm going to pause this and I'll be right back. Okay, I think I got it set up good now. All right, so what we're going to do now. So I want you guys to take your pillow and I want you to lay it down and then lay your piece on top of it. What I don't want you to have is your side double crochets going right up to this seam, and then it shouldn't reach this seam. Like it should be a little bit of a stretch. So when we put this heart right in the center of the pillow, whenever we go to sew the front panel to the back panel, it's going to give a little bit there. And what that's going to do is open up, I'm going to try to hold it. It's going to open up the fillet, you know, making the heart stand out more. So it's going to have give on the sides. And we need to do the same thing with the top and the bottom, but we don't need to we don't need to expand on the length of the width, I should say. That's the word I'm trying to say. It needs to stay the way it is. So what we're going to do is only work on the top right now. So we're going to expand the length or the height a little bit. So get my hook. Get you guys back in here. All right. Okay, so we need to get back to this corner. So what I'm going to do is chain one, and I'm going to turn my work, and I'm just going to loosely slip stitch to that corner. Right into that corner. Okay? I'm going to chain one and I'm going to turn it back over. So now I'm to this corner and I can start working corner to corner, back and forth to get a little more height to cover the top of that pillow. So I'm going to work one double crochet into the chain two right there. And then I'm just going to go right over the top of that slip stitch into the top of that double and work a double. Same thing into the next, and the same thing, no, because that's a chain one right there. So we'll go right into that next double crochet and then double crochet all along. So when we sew this together, it's going to have still a straight seam up this top, just a little bit. We're probably going to work 2-3 rows maybe. All right, so double crochet all the way across, and I'll meet you at this chain two space. Okay, so I've made it across, and I've got I double crochet into that last double, so I'm just going to work one double into the chain two space, chain one, and turn. And now I'm just going to double crochet straight across, double into each double. Oops. Okay, guys, so go ahead and work your double crochet straight across, and I'll meet you when we get to the end. Okay, so I went ahead and finished that row. I worked my last double crochet. Stop shaking. My last double crochet into that double. And now what I want you guys to do is take your pillow and lay this on there so that the heart is in the center, centered up and down and left and right. Let me see if I can't adjust. All right, so whenever I have it centered on there, I'm not worried about this right now, but when I have this centered on here and I look and I think, all right, if I get one more row of double crochet on there, look how close I am to that seam, which is perfect. So leave it centered and come down, and I add 2 more rows on here. It looks great. I don't want it right on that seam. I want it to be a little bit away from it. So if I pull my fingers over here, you can see how far away it's going to be. So that's what we want. So that means I need one more row of double crochet. So I am going to chain one, rotate, turn my work, and just work that one more time. I'm going to double crochet into each double straight across, and that should be good for this side. And then what I'll do, or what we'll do, is attach on the bottom, work 2 rows of double. No, it's 3 rows, isn't it? Yeah, 3 rows. And then we can work our back panel. And the back panel is super easy. All it's going to be is a solid double crochets. Okay, I'm going to get this done and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've made it across. I've got the one more double that I need to work into. If you rotate that just a little bit, you can see that. And I'm going to double, chain one, pull up a loop, and fasten off. All right, so there's the top, and it looks great. So now I'm going to just rotate my work, and I want to keep it to where the double crochets we worked around are facing up. So I'm going to attach into the right corner. So that way it follows this, like it'll all be double crochets facing up, and then one row that'll be to the back, and then one to the front, and then we'll be done. All right. So I'm just going to get a slip knot on my hook, attach into this corner with the slip stitch, chain one, pull that tight. I'm going to double crochet right back in there, and then just get started double crocheting right across to that chain 2 corner. All right, guys. Double crochet all across, and I'll meet you when we get to the chain 2. Okay, so I just finished double crocheting into each double, and now I'm to that chain 2, so I'm going to work 1 double, chain 1 and turn, and I'm going to work the double crochet into each double straight across, and I will see you guys when I get to the end. All right, be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back, and I just finished, and I double crocheted into each double crocheted into that last one, and that's 5 rows. So we're gonna chain 1, pull up a loop. I mean 5 rows as in 5 rows total. We didn't just crochet 5 rows, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, I didn't want to confuse you with that. All right, so now what we are gonna do is see how this looks on our pillow. So I'm gonna center my heart. Pretty close and pretty close. So once we sew this, everything's got some give to it, and it'll fit nice and snug. Okay, so set that to the side, and we are going to work our back panel. Now I've already got mine done, and this is really easy. All it is just a bunch of double crochets. But what we're gonna do is we want to follow that same concept with our chain, with the back of the back panel, right? So we don't want a chain that's going to be long enough to go straight from seam to seam. So you see how mine's just a little short on each side. So what I did is chained 55, and with my tension, that is a perfect length to give for it to not go exactly seam to seam. And it measures, 16 inches. So chain 55, or a good length with your tension that's going to get you not exactly seam to seam, but pretty close, okay? So that way, like right now, I put my hand on it, like the weight of my arms and my hands, and run it to the side, and you can see how much it just went over that seam. You see the seam at the top? And it's way over the seam now on both sides. So we don't exactly want it seam to seam, just a tad bit short, okay? Enough that, like, if you chain and you give that chain a tug like that and pull it over, it almost, wraps around the pillow. And you can, so that way you know how much give your piece is going to have. So what I did is just chain 55, put it on my pillow. No, it's not seam to seam. It's just a tad bit short, and that's perfect. And then we'll double crochet into the third chain from hook, double into each double, or each chain, chain one, double into each double, chain one, double into each double, chain one, double into each double. And what I did is the exact same concept with the width for the length. If I set this on my pillow, it's not exactly seam to seam. So it's going to have a little bit of give on the top and on the bottom. So then when we sew our pieces together, they're nice and snug on the pillow and not, flopping around on the pillow. So you guys get your back panel done. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 rows of double crochet. And this back panel measures 16 by 15. Okay? All right. Get your back piece panel, or get your back panel done, and come back here and we are going to assemble. Okay guys, so once you get your back panel done, get all your ends weaved in, and I did that off camera already. So now what we're going to do is we are going to lay our pieces right sides together. Get that out of the way. Right sides together, and then we're going to stitch around 3 edges, flip it inside out, insert pillow, sew shut, okay? So what I want is this back panel, I want the right side facing up, and I'm going to consider the right side to where row 1, the double crochet is facing up, okay? And then for the heart panel, I want to where the double crochets around the heart are all facing up. So it should look like this. The last row on the bottom is backwards, and the second to last row on the top is backwards. So this is my front. So what I'm going to do is flip it right sides together. So the back is facing me of the heart panel, and then there's the back of the back panel. Now I am going to let you guys do what you want to do to stitch this shut. I prefer to do the slip stitch. It's just what I always do, and I'm just going to stick with what I do. You guys can you guys can, sew it shut, single crochet it, slip stitch it. It doesn't matter. However you want to do it, I'm going to let you do it. But I am just going to start. So here's the top of my heart. And you know what? Make sure the top of the heart is to the top of your back panel too. So that looks good. And the top is just like the last row we did, should be the back of the double crochet facing us. So row 1 is facing up. The last row is the back, all right? And that should be your top. Doesn't matter, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm just going to get my 2 corners. Well, what we're going to do is I'm going to attach into my bottom right, slip stitch all the way across the bottom here, get to this corner, and then I'm going to turn and slip stitch up this corner, turn and slip stitch across the top, and I'm going to stop, and then we're going to flip it out and then go from there, okay? But I'm going to work all of that with you. I just wanted to tell you what we're doing. Okay, so however you're going to do it is fine, but I'm going to start with slip stitches, and I'm just going to find the very corner of this bottom, which is actually the chain 2, the beginning chain 2. So I'm going to go right into, I'm going to try into the chain right before that first double right there, because that's our first double, but we still have a beginning chain 2. So here's a chain, and there's chain 2, so I'm going to go right into that chain. And then, what do we got over here? Okay, we've got a double, but I weaved in my end, so it's a little wonky looking. But I'm going to go, I'm going to do back loops. I'm going to back loop, slip stitch this closed. So what that means, not a big deal on this bottom chain right here, because you know you're not going to see it anyway, but what I'm doing is the double crochets that I'm working into, I'm only going into the back loops. So here's our heart, the top of our double crochet, the heart. I'm only going to go into these back loops. So that way when we flip it in, or flip it out, what that's going to leave is this this remaining loop, and it's going to leave what looks like a ridge, and it just looks pretty. All right, so I got a slip knot on my hook. I'm going to grab a loop and pull through both loops and slip stitch, and then just keep going. Make sure I'm only into my back loops. And with these chains, basically what I'm doing is the same thing we did earlier. I'm just inserting my hook right to where the bottom of those double crochets are and catching the remaining loops of that chain. So just, I see the bottom of the legs of my double crochet right there, and I'm just going to insert my hook, and it goes right through those remaining chain loops. All right, so we're going to slip stitch, or however you're going to do it, all the way across the bottom, and I will meet you when we get to this corner. Okay, so I've slip stitched into each stitch straight across here, and I'm coming to, I've got one more to go into. Yeah, just making sure that's right. I got one more to go into, so I am going to go right in there. And this last one I weaved in an end into, so it's a little hard to see what it is, so I'm just going to go where I can get my hook. I'm going to slip stitch. I'm going to do another slip stitch in there. And I'm just going to start going down the side. Getting slip stitches where I can get them. Okay, so that makes my turn. I just worked 2 into 1 stitch, and that makes a corner right there. So now what we're doing is slip stitching up this side. And I still have double crochets on this, so that right on this side I'm going to work into my back loops only, and on this side I'm just going to go wherever I can get it. That's going to be consistent with the double crochets. Does that make sense? So like I'm not going to go stitch for stitch on this side because you know, you don't have a stitch to go into, but on this side we do, so I'm just going to go into each stitch up on the heart panel. Okay, so go ahead and work up this side, and I'll meet you at this corner. Okay, I wanted to jump back on here to show you guys. So if you can see, my heart panel is coming out a lot bigger than my, or a lot longer, I should say, than my solid back panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop, and I'm going to stretch out this back panel, and then I'm going to lay down the heart panel on top of it, and I can see that I need to skip some stitches of the heart panel. So I'm going to go into my back panel, skip the next one of my heart. Oops, dang it. Into my back, and I'm going to skip that next one of my heart. Go into the back, and I'm just going through stitches anywhere. I'm going to skip the next stitch of the heart. Skip that one. Okay, it's getting closer. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to go into my back panel, skip the one on my heart. Back panel, skip the one on my heart. Go into the next. And it's coming out a little bit better. I'm going to do it one more time. Go into my back. Skip the next one on my heart, which is a chain I'm into. That's all right. Okay, now that's better. So now I'm just going to go through both of them, and I actually don't have stitches to work into anymore. I'm just going through parts of the heart. Now I'm to the corner. So on this top, we have tops of double crochet on each side. So I'm going to go right into the first double crochet on both sides. I'm going to do the back loops, and I'm going to work two half doubles, what the heck? 2 slip stitches. And now I'm going to rotate, and now we're going to work back loops. So back loop on both these panels. So I'm going to show you this one more time. It's the back loop on the top, back loop on the bottom. So it'll be this loop and this loop. Okay? If you're choosing to do that, you definitely do not have to do that. But this should go stitch for stitch across the top, okay? Alrighty, I'm going to get going on this and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm coming to the end. I've got a few more on each side to work into. So I am just going to finish this up real quick. And this last one I have on my back panel, I weaved in an end, so it's a little wonky looking. And that is a chain, so I'm just going to go right into there. Slip stitch, do another slip stitch, so our corner is ready. And now I'm going to pull up a big loop because we are going to flip it inside out. Now you guys can see that your corner's poked out. And see that pretty ridge it leaves when you slip stitch into the back loop. Okay, so get all of the corners poked out. All right, now I'm going to insert the pillow. Oh, that's a perfect fit. Yes, yay, yay. All right, let me adjust my camera so you guys can see. I'm so happy, I love it. Okay, so now the only thing we have left to do is stitch the pillow shut. Which, this is a little bit of a pain in the butt to do. But all I'm going to do is get that in there. I'm going to push that tail in there. Nobody will see it. Actually, to help it stay, I am just going to put some stitch markers in it. And also, this will help with keeping it stitch for stitch. You don't need this many, I'm just doing it because I pulled that many out. Okay, let me get you guys back down. Alright, so right here we have the corner that we just worked. And all I'm going to do is just start slip stitching. This is so hard to try to do on camera. Turn this over. Like I'm just gonna pretend that I am not in the inside. I'm just gonna grab my 2 pieces and start slip stitching. And I'm gonna keep doing it in the well, I'm gonna do the back end loop, the front loop now, so that leaves the ridge on the side like it is on the other side. So that means when we get to the double crochets, it'll be the stitch, the loop to the inside. Okay, I'm gonna slip stitch through that, so then it'll leave that ridge. All right. Okay, so just slip stitch along all the way down, and I will meet you guys when we get to this last corner. Okay, it's so pretty. I'm so happy. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a tip. I actually, whenever I'm working this, it is really hard to do to hold and slip stitch that shut. So what I do is I put a chair in front of me, like I have one of those card table folding chairs. I just set that in front of me and then set the pillow on that, and then I can slip stitch it shut easier. But anyway, I am coming to the end. I'm going to take out that last stitch marker. And then I'm just going to go where my hook will go. I go right into that corner. Slip stitch. I'm going to do another one. Oops, that's a single. Slip stitch. All right. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. Ah! All right, before I look at it, I'm going to get this end weaved in. And I'm going to be a little bit of a cheat. I'm just going to run it into my back panel, come out. I'm just going to cut it so it pops right back inside and nobody can see it. Okay, let's look at it. Oh, it's so pretty. Yay, I love it. I can tell right there I weaved in an end and I pulled it a little too tight. Can I fix that? Yeah, I think. Did that fix it? Oh. Oh, I'm so happy, you guys. I think this is absolutely adorable. I love this collection. And I got it out so fast. That's what makes me happy, too. Okay, guys. I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss what's next from me. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed. I am so super happy. I love this. I lost my train of thought. In the description box, I got links down there for you guys for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever social media platform you guys choose to use. Follow me on those. And then if you make anything, tag me and show me. That nothing makes me happier than seeing that. And that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial, we are going to be working on the second part of our filet heart afghan. Now, the first part, we stopped at row 11, so we're starting at row 12, and if you guys haven't seen part 1, it'll be linked in the description box. I'm going to write that down right now so I don't forget. And if you start off with that video, you're going to see everything you're going to need to, supply-wise, everything you'll need to get started with this afghan, and then you'll see the first part, row 1 through 11. Alright, so we're going to jump right in with row 12. So we are going to start by chaining 1 and turn, rotate our work, and we started row 11 with 4 chain 1 spaces. Now we're going to take it down to 3. So we chain 1 and we're going to double into that very first double crochet. Chain 1, double into the next double. That's 2 chain 1. That's 2 chain 1 spaces. Chain 1, double into the next double. And there are our 3 double crochet or 3 chain 1 spaces. Okay, so now we are at the part where we increase our heart. So we are going to take it from 31 to 35. Okay, so to increase our heart to 35, we do just like we have before. Double crochet into that next chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochets, double crochet into that next chain 1 space, double crochet into that next double, and we should have 35 double crochet. So to save time, I'm going to go ahead and do all those double crochets off camera, okay? So I will be right back. Okay, so I just finished increasing that first heart. And now we are going to start our pattern repeat, I'm sorry. So we're going to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain 1 spaces between our hearts, and we're going to bring it into 3. So I've got my 35 double crochet for my first heart, and to start the pattern repeat for your row, chain 1, double into the next double crochet. That's 1 chain 1 space, chain 1, double into the next double crochet. Chain 1, double into the next double. So that is 3 chain 1 spaces between our hearts, and that's what you're going to have between each of your hearts until the end. Okay, so now we just repeat that over again. Increase our heart from 31 to 35. Do your 3 chain 1 spaces. Chain 1, double the next. Chain 1, double the next. Chain 1, double into the next. Increase your heart. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double until you have 3 chain 1 spaces. Increase your next heart. And you just repeat that until you increase the last heart of your blanket, okay? So, and that's where I'm going to meet you guys. I'm going to come back when I've increased my very last heart, okay? So I will be right back. Okay, so I just finished increasing my last heart, and to end row 12, we need 3 chain 1 spaces just like at the beginning of the row. So I worked into that last double. Now I'm going to chain 1, double into that next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, and double into the last double. And if you rotate it just a little, right there's the top of that last double crochet. Okay, so that is the end of row 12, and I think you'll be happy to know that's the end of increasing our hearts. Our hearts are as wide as they're going to get, okay? So for row 13, we are not going to increase anything. We're basically just going to mirror, or I shouldn't say mirror, but we're just going to duplicate row 12. Now it's not a repeat of row 12, it's just row 13 is going to look just like row 12. All right, so start row 13. We are going to double crochet into that first double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into that next double, chain 1, skip that chain 1, and double into the next double. So we're still starting with 3 double crochets, or 3 chain 1 spaces. Okay, and now all we're going to do is double crochet into each double crochet across this heart, okay? So go ahead, I'm going to let you guys do all those double crochets off camera, and I'm going to do mine off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just worked a double crochet into each of the double crochets of my heart, and now I'm to the chain spaces, the chain 3 spaces between each heart. Not chain 3 spaces, 3 chain 1 spaces. And I'm just going to duplicate what I have here. So I'm going to chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double. And now you just start that repeat over. double into each one of your double crochets of your heart, get to your chain, 3 chain spaces, 3 chain 1 spaces between each heart, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then double crochet into each of your heart, each double crochet of your heart. So repeat that all across your blanket, and I will meet you after the end of the last heart, right before the last 3 chain 1s before we end the blanket, okay? So work that all across your blanket, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I've come to the end of my heart, and all I did was work stitch for stitch, double crochets, chain 1s. So it should look exactly the same as row 12, and to finish, we just continue with working stitch for stitch, double into the double, chain 1, double into the double, chain 1, double into the last double crochet. And that is the end of row 13. So to move on to row 14, we're slowly getting there. Chain 1 and turn. I don't know where that came from. All right, now row 14, we're going to do the exact same thing we just did for row 13. Just double into each, double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double into each of your doubles, double, chain 1, double, chain 1. Just work a double into each double and a chain 1 at each chain 1, even all the way to the end, okay? So it's going to be the exact same thing we just did. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys work that off camera, but to start the row, we do the same thing we've done through the other rows. We just chain 1, turn, double crochet into that very first double crochet, and then just repeat. All right, so I will see you guys at the end of row 14. Okay, so I just finished row 14, and just like before, all I did was work the stitch into, you know, a double into each double, a chain 1 with a chain 1 above it, double into each double. So it's just the exact same thing, okay? So we're going to move on to round 15. Chain 1 and turn our work. Now what we're going to do is we are going to start working the space between the humps at the top of our heart. So we're going to start with the same chain 1 count at the beginning of our heart. So we're going to keep 3 chain 1 spaces. So we chained 1 and turned already, so we're just going to double crochet right into that double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into that next double. So we're keeping our 3 chain 1 spaces at the beginning of the row, and we're also keeping our heart starting at the same space right here, the same line up, if that makes sense. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet into the next 16 doubles for a total of 17 double crochets in a row, because we've already got one right there, right? So we're going to double crochet into the next 16. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Trying to get through this real fast. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay. So we got 17 double crochets right here. And now all we're going to do is chain 1, skip the next, double crochet into the next 17. So now all we're doing is just double crocheting to the end of our heart. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. You guys don't want to watch me or listen to me count. So I'm going to get those 17 double crochet done, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished those 17 double crochet. So my first heart has 17, there's a little chain one in there, 17 double crochet. All right, so that's your first heart. Now the pattern repeat for the rest of your hearts, the rest of the hearts on your afghan. We are going to start with a chain one, and we're going to work 3 chain one spaces, just like we have right here. So basically we're just duplicating what we're looking at. So we already have that chain one, double crochet into the next double, chain one, double crochet into the next double, chain one, double crochet into the next double. So we have our 3 chain one spaces. Now we need to do our 17 double crochets, chain one space, 17 double crochets. Well, we already have one double, so we need to double crochet into the next 16 double crochets. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do that off camera so you guys don't have to watch me again, and then I'll come back when we start that little chain one space. Okay, so I just worked the first 17 double crochet. So now we insert that little chain one space. So we chain one, skip that next double crochet into the next. And now we work 16 more double crochet for a total of 17 to finish this heart. And then we just start that repeat over again. 3 chain one spaces, 17 double crochet, chain one, 17 double crochet. 3 chain one spaces, 17 double crochet, chain one, 17 double crochet. Repeat that across your blanket. Do it on your last heart, and I will meet you when we get to the end of the last heart, okay? Okay, I will be right back. Okay, so I've made it to the end of my heart, and to end it, or end of my heart, the end of my row, we are going to work 3 chain one spaces. So chain one, now I'm going to double into that next double, chain one, double into that next double, chain one, double into the very last double. So there is our round 15. Okay, so round 16, we're almost done with our heart. Okay, so for round 16, chain one, turn our work. Now the only thing we're going to do on this round that's different is we're going to increase the center of our heart. So row 16, we're going to start just like we have the other couple rows with 3 chain one spaces. So we chained one and turn, so we're going to start with a double crochet into the very first double, chain one, double into that next double, chain one, double into the next double. There's 2, so we need 1 more. I lost my tension. Chain one, double, skip the chain one space, double into the next double. And now what we're going to do is double crochet into the next 14 double crochet. So that should put us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That should put us 2 double crochet away from that chain one space right there. So right here is where we should stop, and then we'll have a total of 15 double crochet because we've already got 1 right here. So we work 14 more, and then we're going to be 2 double crochet away from that chain one. So you guys go ahead and work those 14 double crochet. You'll have 15 in a row, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I worked those 14 double crochet, and I have a total of 15 sitting there, and now I'm 2 double crochet away from that chain one. So what we do now is chain one, skip that next double, double crochet into the next, chain one, skip that chain one space, double crochet into the next, chain one, skip that next double crochet into the next. So we have 3 chain one spaces now instead of that. And you know, we added 2 with our 1 chain one space. So our the what would you call that? The inside crease, the inside of your heart is we're gonna slowly bring it out. All right, so now what we do is double crochet into the next 14 double crochet. I'm going to get that done off camera because you guys don't want to watch me and listen to me. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I have those 14 double crochet, so now I have 15 double crochet, and that's the end of our first heart. Now we're going to start the pattern repeat for the row. We are going to chain 1, double crochet into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double. So we have 3 double crochet between each of our hearts now, or well, still. All right, so what we're going to do is work 14 more double crochet, so we have 15 right here, and then we're going to work our chain 1, skip the next double, double into the next double, chain 1, skip the chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, skip the next double, double into the next double. So we should have 3 chain 1 spaces above our chain 1 from the previous round. And then finish off this side of your heart with 14 double crochet. You'll already have one there, so there's going to be 15 double crochet right here. And then you just start that over again. 3 chain 1 spaces between your hearts, 15 double crochet right here. You only got to work 14 because one's already there. Work your 3 chain 1 spaces, then work your 14 more double crochet, so it'll be 15 because one will already be there, and then start to repeat over again. And then work it over and over and over until you come to the end of your last heart, and that's where I'm going to meet you guys, okay? All right, we're almost done with the heart, guys. So I'm going to get mine done off camera, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've made it to the end of my last heart, and we're just going to work the exact same thing we just did on the previous row. 3 chain 1 spaces. Chain 1, double crochet into your next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1 and double crochet into that last double crochet. All right, and that's the end of row 16. Alrighty, so to move on to row 17, just like all the other ones, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And for row 17, we are going to start with 4 chain 1 spaces this time instead of just 3. So we're going to have 1 more. So we chained 1 already. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet into that first double. Chain 1, double crochet into the next double. So we have 1, we need 4. So chain 1, double into the next double. That's 2. Chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, skip the next double, double into the next double. So that's 4 chain 1 spaces. Now we are going to double crochet into the next 13. Wait a minute, I don't think that's right. Yeah, sorry, we're double crocheting into the next 10. I was looking at the wrong numbers on my paper right here, but right here we need 11 double crochet. So we need to double crochet into the next 10 double. So we already have 1. So double into the next 10 to have our 11. Two, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Darn it. I just did it again. 11. All right, so we're 2 away from our chain space. So now we're going to take it from 3 chain 1 spaces to 5. So we're 2 away from our chain spaces. So we're going to chain 1, skip the next double, double crochet into the next double. Chain 1, skip the chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, skip the next double, skip this one, double into the next one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain 1 spaces now. So our heart, the top of our heart's getting a little bit bigger. All right, now we are going to crochet or double crochet into the next 10 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now we should have 11 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, now our center chain spaces, we're going to take it up to 5. So we're 2 away from that chain 1 space. So we chain 1, skip the next double, double into the next. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, skip the next double, double into that next double. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochet between our 2 hearts. And I forgot to say that this is our pattern repeat. The chain 1, double crochet into the next double, chain 1, double 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 into the next double is the beginning of our repeat. And our repeat is going to be your 5 chain 1 spaces, and then 10 more double crochet, and then chain 1, skip next double, double into the next, chain 1, double into the next, chain 1, double into the next, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, skip that double, double into the next double. So now we have 5 double crochet or chain 1 spaces in the top of our heart. And like the top of our heart is this part that I'm talking about right here. I don't know what you would call that, but we went from 1 chain 1 space to 3, and then now we're making it 5. Okay, and then you just repeat that again. 5 chain 1 spaces between your heart, 10 double crochet 10 into the next 10 double crochet, and you already got one here, so that makes you 11. And then start your 5 chain 1 spaces, and then 10 double crochet. You need 11, so you should already have one there once you work that 5th chain 1 space. And you just repeat that all the way down to your last heart, and I will meet you when we get to this last heart. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm coming to the end. Well, I am at the end of my last heart. So now we're going to end the row just like we began with 4 chain 1 spaces. So I'm going to chain 1, and I just, I worked my 5 chain 1 spaces in the middle of my heart. My 10 double crochet, one was already there, so there's 11 double crochet. And now to end the row, we chain 1, skip the next double, double into the very last double crochet of the heart. Chain 1, skip your chain 1, double crochet into the next double. Chain 1, skip your chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1 and into the very last double crochet with a double. And we should have 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochet. Okay, let's move on to row 18. So chain 1 and turn your work. This is the last row of the heart. Okay, so we are going to start row 18 with 5 chain 1 spaces. not 4 this time, we're going to go up to 5. So we chained 1, and we're going to start with a double crochet into that very first double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet into the next double. 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 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 1, skip the next double crochet into the next, which happens to be the 3rd double crochet of the heart. 1, 2, 3. Just in case, I thought that might help. Alright, now we're going to double crochet into the next 6. So that should leave us with a total of 7 double crochet. So double into the next 6 doubles. So it's 2, 4, 5, 6, one more. Alright. So you should be 2 double crochet away from that 5 chain 1 spaces in the middle of your heart. So you should have 7 double crochet right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, now we're going to take the 5 chain 1 spaces up to 7. So we chain 1, skip that next double, double into the next double. Chain 1, double crochet into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into your next double. Chain 1, double into the next. Chain 1, skip your chain 1, double into the next. Chain 1, skip the next double, and double into the next double crochet. So that is the end of the inside of our heart. And now we already have 1 double, so now we need 6 double to finish the side of the heart off, for a total of 7 doubles on this side. Okay, so that should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's the end of our first heart. Now it's really going to show up better once we work the next 2 rows. It'll really pop. Okay, so now we are going to start the row repeat. And the row repeat starts with the chain 1, pattern repeat, not row repeat, sorry. Chain 1, skip that next double, double into the next. So what we're doing is making the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochet, 5 chain 1 spaces that we had from the last row. We're going to make it to 7 now. So that's 1, chain 1, double into the next double. 2, chain 1, double into your next double. 3, chain 1, double. 4, chain 1, double into your next double. Chain 1, skip that chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, skip the next double, double into the next. Now that should be 7 chain 1 spaces now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good deal. And then we just repeat the same thing we did on this heart, So we work 6 double crochet, and then we start our chain 1, skip next double, double into the next. Chain 1, skip next, that would be a chain, and then double. And you repeat that until you have your 7, just like we did here, 7 chain 1 spaces. And then we work our 6 double crochet for a total of 7 in a row, because you're already going to have 1 there. And then start the repeat over. 7 chain 1 spaces between both your hearts. Double crochet into the next 6, which would be a total of 7 double crochet right here, because you already had 1 from when you did your last chain 1. And then start your 7 chain 1 spaces in the middle of the heart, and then do your last 6 double crochet, which will be 7 in a row, because 1 will already be there from working your last chain 1 space. And then you repeat that again. Repeat it all the way down until your last heart, and I will meet you when we get to the end. Almost done, guys. Okay, so I just finished with my last heart, and I worked my 6 double crochet in a row. 1 was already there, so there's 7 double crochet. And now we're going to end the row with our 5 chain 1 spaces. So we chain 1, skip that next double, double crochet into the last double of your heart, chain 1, skip the next double, chain 1 space, double into the next double, chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, and into my last double crochet with a double. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain 1 spaces, and that is the end of our hearts. Now what we're going to do is we are going to work 2 rows of double crochet chain 1 all the way across. So all we're going to do is, this is row 19 and 20. Okay, so we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to start both this row and next row, so 2 rows of this. We're going to double crochet into the very first double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet, chain 1, double into the next double, and you're going to repeat that all across. So what we're going to have is chain 1, double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double, and then when you get to your rows of doubles, you're going to skip a double. So we doubled here, so we're going to chain 1, skip that double, double in the next, chain 1, skip that double, double in the next, chain 1, skip that double, double in the next, and then chain 1, double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double. So basically every place that there is at double crochets and chain 1s, we're going to double in each double and chain 1 over the top of that chain 1. So it's going to be skip, chain 1, skip, or not chain 1, I'm sorry. Chain 1, skip that chain, double into the next. Chain 1, skip that chain, double into the next. And then all you're doing is skipping doubles on the rows of, on your double crochets in a row. Does that make sense? So it's just chain 1, double crochet into the next, chain 1, double crochet into the next. And it just so happens to work out that you're just skipping chain 1s, and then on these, you're skipping doubles instead of chain 1s. And you're going to work that all the way to the end. Chain 1 and turn, and then work that exact same pattern coming back. Chain 1, double crochet, skip the double, chain, double crochet into the next double. That's all we're going to do for rows 19 and 20, okay? So I'm going to let you guys do that off camera, and I am going to get mine done and come back, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished row 20, which is the second row of the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. I repeated that all the way across. Now I'm ending with a double crochet in the last double crochet, and now to move on to row 21, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And row 21 is going to be double crochet into the very first double, and then we're going to work 1 double into the chain 1 space, double into the next double, double into the chain 1 space, double into your next double, double into the chain 1, and that's what we're going to repeat all the way down for row 21. Okay? So now you guys can see what I meant about that heart really popping out after we work those 2 rows of double crochet chain 1s. All right, so finish row 21 and I will be right back. Okay guys, so I just finished row 21. I double crocheted into every chain 1 space and every double. So now we have 1 more row. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to double crochet into each double, and that is all we're going to do for row 22. Okay? So double crochet right back into that very first double, and then just double into each double straight across. Okay? So get that done and come back here, and then we'll move on. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished row 22. So now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all the way to row 22 again repeat 2 to 22, 2 to 22. So we start, row 2 is the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 all across. Row 3, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 all across. And then row 4, we start the heart. 4 to 18 is our heart. 19 and 20 is the chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. 21 and 22, double crochet all across, okay? So I am working on my piece that is 3 hearts wide. So I'm thinking, I haven't done it yet, but I'm thinking 4 hearts high is going to be the perfect size. I don't know yet, okay? So I'm going to stop my video here, and then with the power of movie magic, I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you guys exactly how many times I repeated for my piece here. Now, if your piece is larger, I'm going to say probably just add 1 more row repeat than I work, and it'll come out good, okay? So let me get my piece done, and when I come back, I'm going to tell you guys exactly how many repeats I did, all right? Okay, I will see you guys after a while. Okay, guys, so I am back, and I have repeated my rows until I have a total of 4 hearts. So I have 3 hearts wide, 4 hearts tall. So here's the one we did together. I repeated it again. And there's that one. And here's the last one. Now on the end, I stopped with 1 row of double crochet. And the only reason I did that was because the blanket starts with a row of double crochet. So I didn't want to have 2 up here and then 1 down here. So I went ahead and stopped here. If you guys want to do the two rows of double crochet, that's fine. But we are going to work, I just saw a big hair and I don't know where it went. We're going to work a border now. So what I've done, here's my last double crochet right there. What we're going to do is chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And of course it doesn't want to focus because there's something in the background of the video. Alright, so, and we chain 3 and then just rotate your work. And what we're going to do is we're going to set that chain 3 down along this side and single crochet to where the chain 3 is semi-straight like that. Chain 3, lay it down, single crochet where that chain 3 lays flat like that, okay? Chain 3, and then just kind of gauge where it would lay down nice, like right there, and that's where I'm going to work my single crochet. Chain 3, single crochet. So when you pull it out, it should look like that. Chain 3, and just, we don't want to, you know, single crochet it like that to where it's real tight. We just want to lay it down. Chain 3, lay it down. Okay, so I'm going to work that down my side, and I'm going to come back and tell you guys how many chain 3s I have down the side of my blanket. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I have 44 chain 3s down my side, okay? This is the left side. So now what we're going to do, the very last single crochet went right into the very last corner. So this is actually the bottom. This is the beginning chain that we started with. So what we're going to do is chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then just rotate. So here's the bottom. And I'm going to just repeat that again. But I'm going to try at this point, we can probably do a better job with kind of guessing. We'll skip 3. So we're into this one. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet into the 4th. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet into the next. 1, 2, 3. Skip 3. Single into the next. 1, 2, 3. We're into this one, so we skip 1, 2, 3 into the next. All right, so go ahead and repeat this across the bottom, and I will be right back to let you know how many I have. Okay, so I've made it across the bottom. I have 31, but when I get to the end, I'm just a few stitches away from being to the end. So I'm just going to work, you see right there, I'm just going to work a little chain 2, and then I'm going to go right into that last stitch with a single. So that should be 32 chain spaces across your bottom. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and rotate. And we're going to work the same thing we did on the left side on the right side. Just make sure you get 44 chain 3s up this side. All right, so I'm going to get mine done off camera, and I will be right back. Okay, so I finished across my other side. Now, I should have had 44, but I only have 43, but I'm okay with that. I'm not going to pull it out and try to get 2 more in there, or 1 more in there. All right, so now we are to the top, and I've worked into the last. So like I came down this side, did my last chain 3, and I just went ahead and single crocheted into that double crochet right there. So if we rotate, that's the top of the double. So I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now just work this across the top. So I'm going to skip 3, go into the next. Chain 3. Well, I'm into this one, so I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next. 1, 2, 3, skip 3, single crochet into the next. So repeat that across the top, and I'll meet you when we get to the end of that. Okay, so I've come to the end of the top, and it just like the bottom, I come to the end and I have 2 more doubles left. So I'm just going to go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then into this first chain 3 on that we started, I'm going to slip stitch right into there. So I have 32 chain 3s across the top, just like the bottom. Okay, so now what we're going to do, into that chain 3 we just slip stitched into, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to go in there with 5 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet into your next chain 3. 5 double crochet into your next chain 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single into your next chain 3. 5 double crochet into your next chain 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is what we're going to repeat all the way around. Single into your next chain 3. 5 double crochet into your next chain 3, and we're not even like, we're just going to work that down and then not skip a beat and just come around your corners. But I'm gonna work down this side and come to the corner and show you guys how we're gonna go from there. Okay, all right, I'll be right back. Okay, I've come to my last chain 3 spot down my side, and I worked my single crochet. If you don't come up with a single crochet right there, it's no big deal. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, and all I'm going to do is just rotate my work and continue with the 5 double crochet into the next chain 3. 1, oops, 2, 3, 4, 5, single into the next, and then 5 into the next. So just like that. All right, so repeat that. Keep going and going and going all across your bottom. The same thing at this corner. Whatever you end on, don't forget that little chain 2 space. Whatever you end on, just keep working it around the corner. And I will meet you guys when we get all the way around back to the beginning. All right. Okay, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, I have made it all the way around, and I ended with a single crochet right here. If you ended with a double and a shell, and then, you have a shell right next to it, it's not going to hurt anything. Just slip stitch to your first double crochet. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch to my first double crochet, chain 1, pull up a loop, and we're done. Okay, I am going to actually stop here. I'm going to stop my video. I'm going to get all my ends weaved in, and yeah, then we'll go from there, okay? It's so pretty. I'm proud of myself. Okay, guys, I'm going to get my ends weaved in, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I have all my ends weaved in, and my afghan is done. And I am super proud. This is pretty. Well, thank you guys, as always. Thank you guys so very much for watching. You guys are the greatest. I'm so super happy with this. I don't know what to say. Anyway, subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss what I've got coming out next. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Leave me a comment and let me know what you guys think. And then also in the description box, I got links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow me on whatever social media platform you guys choose to use, and tag me in everything you make because I want to see. Again, thank you guys so very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial, we are going to be working on this filet heart baby blanket. Now, I say baby blanket. I made mine the size of a baby blanket, but you guys can make yours any size you want to, and I'm going to explain that in just a second. So what we've got here, try to move everything so I can make room. I'm just going to unfold it here. We have fillet hearts, and then we have a little border we're going to work around. And I have my baby afghan is 3 hearts wide by 4 hearts long. Now, you don't have to do it that size. You can do it whatever size you want to. I just suggest if you work 4 hearts wide, then I'd go 5 hearts long, or 2 hearts wide, go 3 hearts long, whatever you want to do, because that makes it a good shape for a blanket. So what this consists of is a 21 row repeat, which sounds like a lot, but once you get used to it, once you get past this first heart, you're going to fly right through it. So our repeat consists of row 2. So we have a solid row of double crochet, that's row 1. Row 2 consists of the chain double crochet chain 1 all across, and then row 3, and then we go into our heart. And then after we finish the heart, we work 2 more rows of double crochet chain 1, double crochet chain 1, and then 2 rows of double crochet. Then we start over with row 2 and go to row 22, 2 through 22, 2 through 22. So it's not as hard as it looks. Okay, so for our chain multiple, it's going to depend on the number of hearts you want. So for instance, my blanket right here, we have 3 hearts. So to figure my stitch count, I needed 41 for my very first heart, and then 40 for my next heart, 40 for my next heart, and then add 7. And that would equal my chain count. So that would come to 128 chains. So if you wanted to your blanket to be bigger, you would add 41 of your first heart, and then 42 for your second heart, or I'm sorry, 42. 41 for your first heart, 40 for your second heart, 40 for your third heart, 40 for your fourth, 40 for your fifth, however many more you want, and then add 7. So I thought I had written down, I don't, but so you just have 41 for your first heart, 40 for each of your other hearts, then add 7, and that's your chain multiple, okay? And for mine right here, I've got 3 hearts, plus the border we're going to work, and it measures about 35.5 inches wide. And I did 4 hearts for the height of it. Let me see if I can measure this. Okay, I'm at 43 inches tall. So it's a pretty good size afghan. I mean, you could work this and make it huge. But what we do, so we repeat our row repeats, and then for our border, we just work a row of single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and then come back around with a 5 double crochet shell, single into the next, 5 double crochet shell, single into the next, and then we're done. So it's pretty easy to work. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you. Yeah, obviously I need to tell you what you're gonna need. I forgot to weave in the tails. All right, so you are going to need your 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Get you a pair of scissors. You're gonna need a yarn needle. And a stitch marker in case you need it. I didn't use one, but you never know, you might need one. And then get you a tape measure so we can keep track of how big you're wanting yours to go. And then for our yarn, I used 4 skeins. This is the 4th skein. I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby and the color Hot Orchid. And I do want to say, make sure you get plenty that you are going to need for your afghan if you are choosing to go with a yarn that has a dye lot. I had a yarn emergency, and my very last skein was a different dye lot and was like 2 shades darker than the rest of the afghan, and I was like, oh no. But thank goodness I took my blanket to Hobby Lobby and I laid it on the floor and pulled out each skein of Hot Orchid that they had and found one that matched perfect, and thank goodness I got home and I could finish this and get it out to you guys. So you're gonna need 4 skeins. I was gonna say, you know, if you had more hearts on your afghan, you'd need 1 more skein for each heart for the height, but I don't think that's gonna come out right. But so I have 4 hearts for the height of mine, and I used 4 skeins. I think that's just coincidence. I wouldn't go by that. I just get as much as you think you're gonna need and try to make sure you get it in the same dye lot. Okay, so this skein is 355 yards, 100% acrylic, and it's a size 4. So I would stick with any size 4 that you want to use. I don't think a size 3 would work. But yeah, any 4 weight you want to use, okay? All right, guys, get your supplies together and let's get started. Okay, so I have my chain of 128 done. And to start row 1, we are going to double crochet into the 3rd chain from our hook. So not this one or this one, but that very next one, the 3rd chain. We're going to work a double crochet right in there. And then we're just going to double crochet into all of our remaining chains all the way down. So row 1's easy. Alright, so just double crochet all the way down your chain, and I will meet you guys at the end, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of row 1. I've got 2 more chains that I need to double crochet into. There we go. Now that is the end of row 1. Okay, and you should have 126 double crochet plus 1 beginning chain 2 right there. Okay, now if you did 4 hearts, you should have 166 double crochet with your 1 beginning chain 2. And then if you just so happen to go crazy and do 5 hearts, you should have 206 double crochet plus 1 beginning chain 2. So So you actually should have 127 stitches for 3 hearts, 167 stitches for 4 hearts, and 207 stitches for 5 hearts, which the chain 2 would be considered a stitch. Okay, so let's move on to row 2. We are going to chain 1 and turn. Now this is where it gets real quick. We are going to double crochet into that very first double, right in there with a double crochet. Okay, now we're going to chain 1, skip the next double, double crochet into the next double. And that's what we repeat all the way across. Chain 1, skip 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, skip 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, skip the next, double into the next. And that's what we're going to repeat for row 2 all the way down our work. All right, so I'm going to repeat that all the way down, and I will meet you when we get to the end. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of row 2, and you can see I worked a double crochet, and then I have 1 double and then that beginning chain 2 left. So we're going to chain 1, skip that next double, and into that chain 2 work our last double crochet. Now I'm going to try to get through that back hump and the top loop of the chain, just so it makes a nice pretty edge coming up that side. Okay, so that is the end of row 2. Blech. All right, so now we are going to chain 1 and turn. And for row 3, we're going to do the exact same thing we just did. Double crochet into that first double. That's my heater if you guys hear that. Chain 1, skip your chain 1 space, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the double. Chain 1, double into your double. Oops. Oh, come on now. There we go. And that is all we are going to do for the entire row, row 3. So I'm going to work that, and I'll meet you guys when we get to this end. Okay, so I've made it to the end of row 3, and I have a chain 1 space and a double crochet left. And I just worked a double crochet, so I'm going to chain 1, skip that chain 1, and double crochet into our last double. All right, to move on to row 4, we chain 1 and turn. All right, so row 4, we're going to start our hearts. So we're going to start by double crocheting into that very first double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet into the next double. And we're going to repeat that. Chain 1, double into the next. Chain 1, double into the next. We're going to repeat it 10 more times, so we should have a total of 11 chain 1 spaces. So we just did 1, now we need 10 more. So I'm going to chain 1, double into the next double. There's 1. Chain 1, double into the next double. There's 2. Chain, double into the next double. There's 3. Double into the next double. So we keep repeating that. The chain 1, double crochet, repeat it 10 more times, and then when you're done after that 10th one, we should have a total of 11 chain 1 spaces. So I'm going to work mine, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I repeated that chain 1, double crochet into the next double 10 more times, so I have a total of 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I did not. I missed one. Okay, now I should have 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There, we've got it. Okay, so to start the very bottom of our heart, we are going to double crochet into the next chain 1 space. So right next to us. And then double crochet into the next double. And that starts the beginning of our first heart. And I will show you on my designing notes this bottom. I'll just use my pen. This bottom square right here, it consists of 3 double crochet. So there's the bottom of our heart, and then we're going to work up. All right, so now we need to work this space between here. So, and our pattern repeat starts right here. Chain 1, and we're going to work a double crochet into the next double, and that's the repeat. Chain 1, double into the next double. We're going to repeat that 18 more times. So we just worked it here. Now we're going to repeat it 18 more. So I have 1, and now I need to go 18 more, okay? So I should have 19 chain 1 spaces. All right, I'm going to finish that off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've repeated that and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now we start the bottom of our next heart. Double crochet into the next chain 1 space. Double crochet into the next double crochet. And now we repeat that over again. Chain 1. Chain 1, double crochet into the next double, repeat that until you have 19 chain 1 spaces. Then work your bottom of your double. Chain 1, 19 chain 1 spaces. Double crochet in the next chain 1 space and the next double. Start it over again. Chain 1. And so what we're creating is the beginning. Well, first what we're creating is the 19 chain 1 spaces, bottom of our heart. 19 chain 1 spaces, bottom of our heart. So you're going to repeat that for the number of hearts you have past your first one. So like this piece is going to be 3 hearts, so I need to repeat it for the second heart and for the last heart. So, oops, I'm sorry. So you're just going to repeat that, chain 1, 19 chain 1 spaces, work the bottom of your heart, chain 1, 19 chain 1 spaces, work the bottom of your heart. So I've got one more repeat to go. So I just finished the bottom of my first heart. So I'm going to start the repeat again. Chain 1, double into the next double. That's 1. Chain 1, double into the next double, and I'm going to repeat it till I get 19 more. So I'll meet you when I get my 19 chain 1 spaces done. And yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so I just worked my next repeat with the 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so like I said, you just repeat the 19. We're going to finish our heart, or start our next heart. Okay, so I just did my 19. So that's our repeat, right? We work our 19 chain 1 spaces, start your new heart. 19 chain 1 spaces, start your new heart. And you repeat that, you know, for each of your hearts besides your first one. So mine's going to be 3. So I worked my first heart. Here's my second heart. And now that I'm to my last heart, this is how you're going to finish the row. But if you have 4, you're going to repeat that. Chain 1, double crochet in the next double, and 19 times, work the bottom of your heart. And you're going to repeat that until you get to your last heart. So I have my second heart. There's my first heart, second heart. So now I'm at the end of my row. So to finish our row, I got to start my third heart. So there's my 19th chain 1 space. And now I start at the bottom of my heart with a double crochet into the next chain 1 and a double into the next double. So there's my third heart. Now to finish the row, what we're going to do is chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet. chain one, double into the next double, and we're going to repeat that to the end. And if we did everything right, we should have 11 chain one spaces. So there's 2, there's 3, chain one, there's 4, 5, 6, there's 7, there's 8, chain one, 9, oops, chain one, double into that last double. Okay, now I should have 11 after the beginning of my first heart. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. I really hope I'm not confusing you guys, but what we should have is 11 chain one spaces at the beginning, start of our first heart. 19 chain one spaces, start of our second heart. 19 chain one spaces, start of your next heart. 19 chain one spaces, start of your next heart. And then to end, 19 chain one spaces, start of our last heart, 11 chain one spaces. If you guys need any help whatsoever, email me. My email address is in the description box. I worry. I really hope I'm not confusing you guys, okay? Okay, so that was row 4. Let's chain 1 and turn to start row 5. Okay, so to start row 5, we are going to double crochet in that very first double crochet. So yarn over, go right in there with a double. And now we chain 1 and double into the next double. And we're going to repeat that 9 more times. So instead of 11 like the last row, we're going to have 10 chain 1 spaces, because what we're doing now is increasing our heart. So to start, we have one space already, but we need 10. So 9 more times, chain 1, double into the next, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into your next double. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, chain 1, double into your next double, chain 1, double into your next double, chain 1. All right, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Chain 1, double into the next double. So now I have 10 chain 1 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we're going to increase our heart. So we're going to increase from 3 double crochet by first double crocheting into the next chain 1 space. Double crochet into each of the 3 doubles. Double crochet into the next chain 1 space.
Hey, honey.
Sorry about that, guys. All right, so we double crocheted in that chain 1 space. Now we double crochet into the very next double crochet. So now we should have 2, 4, 6, 7 double crochet for our heart. And now right here is where we start the pattern repeat that you're going to repeat for each of your remaining hearts besides the last, because we finished that row different. All right, so we chain 1 and we're going to go from 18 double crochets between our hearts, or I'm sorry, 19 chain 1 spaces between our hearts, and we're going to go down to 17. So we chain 1, double crochet into the next double, chain 1, double crochet into the next double, chain 1, double crochet into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double. So repeat that until you have 17 chain one spaces, okay? So I will get mine done and I will be right back. Okay, so I've worked my 17 chain one spaces, and now we will increase our next heart. So we work 1 double crochet into the next chain one space, double crochet into the next 3 double, double crochet into the next chain one space, and double crochet into the next double. So that, get off there. So we should have 2, 4, 6, 7 for our heart. So now what you do is just repeat 17 double crochet spaces, increase your 3 double crochet to 7, 17 double crochet spaces, 3 to 7, and you're going to repeat that for your hearts all the way across until you get to your last heart. So I have one more repeat I need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start my 17 chain one spaces. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that till my last heart. Okay, so I have the 17 double crochet between my 2 hearts, and I'm at my last heart. So I'm going to increase it from 3 to 7 with a double into the very next chain one space, double into the next 3 double, double into the next chain one space, and a double into the next double crochet. Alright, so now my last heart is from 3 to 7, and we finished the row. If you happen to notice, we finished the row exactly the same way as we started it. So when we started it, we worked 10 chain one spaces. So to end the row, we need 10 chain one spaces. So chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double. Chain 1, double. Chain 1, double. Keep working that until the very end. Alright, so there's my last chain one space and my last double. So I'm going to chain 1, double crochet into that very last double, and I should have 10 chain one spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, that is the end. What row? Row 5. Alright, so let's move on to row 6 by chaining 1 and turn. Now row 6. So if you're noticing, to start our heart, we started with 11 chain one spaces, 10 chain one spaces. So row 4 was 10 chain one spaces. Row 5 was 10 chain. Row 4 was 11 chain one spaces. Row 5 was 10 chain row spaces. So row 6, how many chain one spaces do you think we go down to? 11, 10, 9. So to start row 6, we go down to 9 chain one spaces. So we chain 1 and turn. We're going to double crochet into that very first double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. So repeat that. Chain 1, double into your next double. Chain 1, double into your next double until you have 9 chain 1 spaces, okay? So I'm going to get mine done and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my 9 chain 1 spaces. So now we're to our first heart, and now what we do is we're going to increase it from 7 double crochet to 11 double crochet. And we've already got one right here, so we need to double crochet into that next chain 1 space and then double crochet into the next 7 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, now we double crochet into the next chain 1 space and double into the next double. So now you should have a row of 11 double crochet. Okay? All right, now here's the pattern repeat for the rest of your hearts. We chain 1, and then the last row we had, was it 17 chain 1 spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. All right, so for row 6, we go from 17, we're going to come in to 15. So now you need 15 chain 1 spaces between each of your hearts. So I'm going to chain 1, skip the next chain 1 space, double crochet into the next double. There's 1. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. And we're going to repeat that until you have 15 chain 1 spaces, okay? So I've already got 3, and I will meet you once I get 15, okay? We'll be right back. Okay, so I have my 15 chain 1 spaces. So now we increase our next heart from 7 to 11. So we double crochet into the next chain 1 space and into the next 7 doubles. Okay, so now we double crochet into the next chain 1 space and then double crochet into that next double. So the repeat is chain 1, double crochet into the next double, repeat that till you get 15 chain 1 spaces, and then we increase our heart from 7 to 11. 15 chain 1 spaces, 7 to 11. Repeat that for each of your hearts until you've increased that last heart, okay? So here's the end of my work. Here's the last heart. I repeat one more time, 15 chain 1 spaces, and then I'll increase this last heart from 7 to 11, and I will meet you guys there, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I just increased my last heart from 7 to 11, and now to finish row 6, we're going to do exactly the same thing we did as we started it. We're going to end with 9 chain 1 spaces. So we chain 1, double crochet into the last double, chain 1, or last double, next double, double into the next double, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double, chain 1. I'm going to get this done real quick. Okay, so now I'm to my last double, so I'm going to chain 1 and double crochet into that very last double crochet, and there should be 9 if we did this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it ends and begins with 9 double crochet. All right, so that is the end of row 6. So to move on to row 7, we're going to chain 1 and turn. All right, so row 6 was 9 double crochet, chain 1 spaces, I'm sorry. So for row 7, we should be down to 8. 8 chain 1 spaces before we increase our heart. So we chained 1, now we're going to double crochet into that very first double crochet, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, and I'm going to repeat that until I have 8 chain 1 spaces. Oops. Okay, so I should have 8 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, now we are going to increase our heart again from 11 up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so what we do is after our 8 chain 1 spaces, double crochet into that very next chain 1 space, double crochet into the next 11. I am actually what I'm expecting is this video to be pretty long. So now that we're getting into these longer straight lines of double crochets, instead of staying on camera and you guys watching me do every one of those single crochets, I'm gonna pause it. And I'm just the reason I'm doing that is to try to keep this video from being 2.5 hours long. All right, so I'm gonna pause it and work those double crochets real quick. Okay, so I've worked across those doubles. Now I'm going to double crochet into the very next chain 1 space and into the very next double crochet. So that should take us up to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 double crochet. And now here starts the pattern repeat. Chain 1. And now we are going to work the chain 1 spaces between each of our hearts. So we should end up having 13 chain 1 spaces. All right, so we chain 1, double crochet into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double. All right, so there's 2. We need 13 between each of our hearts. So go ahead and get your 13 chain 1 spaces done, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my 13 chain 1 spaces. Now I increase my next heart. So there's my 13th chain 1. So now I'm going to double crochet into the next chain 1, double crochet across those doubles, double crochet in that chain 1, and double crochet into that next double. So I'm going to get that done off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so I double crocheted across those 11 double into the next chain 1 space and then into that next double. So now I should have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 double crochet. So we just start that repeat again. Chain 1, double crochet into the next double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double until you have 13 double crochet and you're at your next heart, and then you're going to increase it from 11 to 15 and then start again. Chain 1, double, chain 1, double till you have 13 chain 1 spaces, increase your next heart. So I'm going to work that repeat one more time. I'm going to chain 1, double into my next double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double, 13 double crochet. I'm going to increase my last heart, and I will meet you after I increase my very last heart. Okay, so I just increased my last heart. So now to finish the row, I'm going to chain 1 and double into the next double, chain 1, double, and repeat that until we should end the same way we started, with 8 chain 1 spaces. Almost done. All right, I've got one more to do. Chain 1, double into my last double, rotate it just a little bit. Right there's the top of that double. Now we should have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good deal. Okay, so that was row 7. So to move on to row 8, we chain 1 and turn. Okay, so now we're going to go from 8 chain 1 spaces down to 7. My chair is stuck on something. There. All right, so I chained one. Now we just double into our first, chain one, double into the next double, chain one, double into the next double. Repeat that until we have 7 chain one spaces. I'm just gonna whip through these real quick. Come on now. Chain one and double. All right, so that should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, now we're gonna increase our heart. Let's see, we had 15, so 16, 17, 18, 19 double crochet. So I'm gonna double crochet in that chain one, and now I'm going to double crochet into those 15 doubles. So I'll get that done and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've double crocheted into those 15 double, and now I'm going to work into the next chain one space and into the next double crochet. And now you should have 19 double crochet across there. So now we start our repeat, which is the chain spaces between our hearts. So that starts with the chain one, and now we're going to go from 13 chain one spaces down to 11. So here's 1 and 13, and we're going to come in on both sides, and then we should have 11 chain one spaces. So we just worked our first. That chain one is the actual very beginning of our repeat. So we chain one, double crochet into that next double, chain one, double into the next double, chain one, double into the next double. So just repeat that until you have 11 chain one spaces. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my 11 chain one spaces. So now I'm to my next heart, and we're going to increase that up to 19. So I already have one, and now we double crochet into that chain one and double crochet into across the line of double crochet. All right, I'm going to get that done off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I worked across those double crochet, 15. Now I'm going to double crochet into that next chain one, and then double crochet into that next double crochet. So there's my row of 19, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now I just start that repeat over again. Chain one, 11 chain one spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Increase your heart up to 19. 11 chain one spaces, increase your heart up to 19. I just realized I'm halfway off camera. Increase your heart. Oh my goodness. 11 chain one spaces, increase your heart to 19. 11 chain one spaces, increase your heart to 19. So I need to work that one more time. 11 chain one spaces, and then I'm going to increase my last heart, and then we're going to finish the row. So I'm going to do that off camera, so I will be right back. All right, so I just increased my last heart, and now we're going to finish the row exactly like the way we started it, with the chain one, double, and then we should have 7 chain one spaces. And get through this. All right, one more, chain one, double into the very last double crochet right there. Okay, so I should have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good deal. Okay, so that is the end of row 8. So we're going to move on to row 9. All right, so to start row 9, we chain 1, and we're going to turn. And now we're going to go down to 6 chain 1 spaces. So we chain 1, turn, and I'm going to double into that very first double crochet, chain 1, double into the next double. So there's 1 and we need 6. 2, 3, 4, there's 5, chain 1, and there's our 6 chain 1 spaces. So that's how we're going to start and end row 9, 6 chain 1 spaces. So now we increase our heart up to 23 double crochet. So at this point, I think you guys got it. We double crochet into that next chain 1, double crochet across our row of doubles, double crochet into that chain 1, and then into the next double, and we should have 23 double crochets. So I'm going to let you guys increase your heart by yourself, and then I'm going to come back. So I will be right back. Okay, so I increased my heart to 23 double crochet. So now the spaces in between our hearts, we need to go down to 9. So we just worked the last double of our heart. So we chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double. Repeat that until you have 9 chain 1 spaces. Okay, so I have my 9 chain 1 spaces, and now I'm to my next heart. So I'm going to increase that, what was it, 19 to 23. So how many do we, I don't remember, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, yeah. So we're going to go from 19 to 23. So increase your heart and I will come right back. Okay, so I increased from 19 to 23 double crochet. So I start that repeat again. Chain 1, double the next double. Repeat that till you have 11 chain 1 spaces. Increase your next heart from 19 to 23. 11 chain 1 spaces, 19 to 23. Repeat that until you've increased your very last heart, and I'm going to meet you at that double crochet that finishes increasing our very last heart, okay? So I will be right back. Okay, so I just increased my last heart to 23 double crochet, and now I'm going to start the end of my row, and it's going to be the exact same chain 1 spaces as the beginning. So we should have 6. So chain 1, double crochet into the very next double, chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double. Oops, that's 3 chain 1 spaces. I need 6. There's 4. There's 5. I've at the very last chain 1, and there are my 6 chain 1 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that is the end of row 9. So we are going to move on to row 10. Okay, so to start row 10, we are going to chain 1 and turn. Now for row 10, we're going to take our beginning chain 1 spaces down to 5. So we chained 1, and now we're going to double crochet into that very first double crochet right there. Chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet. So there's 1 chain 1 space, and we need 5. So 2, double into the next double, 3, double into the next double, 4, double into the next double, and 5, double into the next double. All right, so now we're going to increase our heart from 23 double crochet to 27 double crochet. So what we're going to do, double crochet into that next chain space, double crochet into each double crochet, double crochet into that next chain space, and then double crochet into that next double. So then we should have a row of 27 double crochet. So you guys go ahead and get that done. I'm going to get mine off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got that increase finished. So I went from 23 to 27. Now for our pattern repeat. What we start with is the chain 1, double crochet into the next double, chain 1, double crochet into the next double, and we repeat that till we have 7 chain 1 spaces. So we're taking it from 9 to 7. So that's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we come down to 7. So the pattern repeat starts with chain 1, double into the next double. That's 1 chain 1 space right there. We need 7. So 2, there's 3, double into the next double. There's 4, double into the next double. There's 5, chain 1. There's 6 chain 1s. 7, double into the next double. Okay, so that's the repeat for the rest of your hearts, all the way across until you finish the increase on your last heart. So what you do is chain 1, double into the next double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double, until you have 7 chain 1 spaces. After you work your 7th chain 1 and double, then we increase our heart to 27 double crochet. Start that over again. Chain 1, double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double. Repeat that till you have 7 chain 1 spaces. Increase your next heart to 27 double crochet. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and work my repeat until, and I will come back when I finish increasing my very last heart, okay? So I will be right back. Alrighty, so I just increased my last heart, and now we're to the end. And we end it the exact same way we began, with 5 chain 1 spaces. So there's my last double crochet for my no it's not. I have one more to go. I'm sorry. I better check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't get that last stitch. All right, so now I end with my 5 chain 1 spaces. Chain 1, double into the next. That's 1, chain 1, that's 2, chain 1, that's 3, chain 1, double into that next double, that's 4, chain 1, and double into my last double crochet right there. And there's my 5 chain 1 spaces. Okay, so that's the end of row 11. It's starting to come along. So we are going to chain 1 and turn and start row 12. So row 12, we are going to start our beginning chain spaces. It's going to go down from 5 to 4. Okay, so we chained 1, and now we're going to double crochet into that very first double crochet. Chain 1, that's 1 chain space, double into that next double, chain 1, that's 2, double into your next double, chain 1, that's 3, double into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, and there's our 4. So now we increase our heart again, and we're going to increase it to 31. So we're at 27, and now we're going to go up to 31. So I'm going to double crochet into that chain 1 space, double across all these double crochets, double crochet into that chain 1 space, and then double into that double, and then we should be at 31 double crochet. So I'm going to get those done off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished increasing my first heart here, and I have 31 double crochet, okay? So now we're to the space between our 2 hearts. So we're going to start our pattern repeat. starting with this chain 1 that we're getting ready to work, and then we're going to double crochet into the next double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double. And what we're going to do is we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 chain 1 spaces down to 5. So our pattern repeat starts here. Chain 1, double into the next double. Chain 1, double into the next double. That's 2. Chain 1. That's 3 double or 3 chain 1s. Chain 1, that's 4. Got 1 more. Chain 1 and double into the next double, and that is 5. So now we're down to 5 double crochets between each of our hearts. So the pattern repeat starts with our chain 1, double, chain 1, double, and we go down to 5 chain 1 spaces, and then we get to our next heart and we increase our heart, which we already have 1 stitch, so we double crochet, or I should say double crochet, not stitch. We already have 1 double, so now we double into that chain 1 space right here. Double into each of the next double crochet, double into that next double, and then double into that next chain 1 space, double into that next double, and then we start the repeat over. Chain 1, double crochet into the next double, chain 1, double into the next double, until we have 5 chain 1 spaces, increase your heart. 5 chain 1 spaces, increase your heart. Repeat that all across your blanket and stop when you increase your last heart, okay? And then we're going to come back and finish the row, okay? So I will be right back. I'm going to get all that done. Okay, I just finished increasing my last heart. So now we're going to finish this row the exact same way we started. 5 chain 1 spaces. So we chain 1, skip the next chain 1, double into the next double. That's 1, chain 1, that's 2, chain 1, that's 3. Uh-oh, am I off? Chain 1. Why do I only have 4? Why do I have 4? Because that's how many I'm supposed to have. I'm a dork. I got off track with the 5 in the center. I thought we were supposed to have 5 here, but we only have 4. 4 at the beginning, or the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yay! Okay, guys. I'm gonna stop here because this video is already almost at an hour. I am going to have a part 2 where we are going to finish the heart. This was row 11, so we're going to start at row 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 row, we're done with the heart. Then we're going to do the 2 row of double crochet, chain 1, 2 row of solid double crochet, and then our repeat starts over. So this part 2 is going to finish the heart, and then we're going to finish the row repeats, okay? All right, so I'm going to post that as soon as I get done here. So, as always, guys, you're the greatest. You guys are the best subscribers. Okay, so hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss what I've got coming out next. Hit that thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.